Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Soleil Dakota, and this is a new edition of Musical Medicine. Thank you for joining us. Our special guest tonight is Desda Zuckerman. Desda is a visionary, a healer, an author, and we are delighted to have you, Desda.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here at Musical Medicine.
Yes. We will come back with an in-depth interview and a full bio with Desda. I'd like to open tonight by saying October is Breast Cancer Month. We are here to honor and acknowledge each and every woman on her journey. In harmony with Desda's wisdom, we are all unique with our own individual creative spark. And at the same time, I quote Desda, we are more the same than different. In each segment of Musical Medicine, I will offer a performance of a song I've written. Tonight's song is called Sister Pray. I chose this song because it's in alignment with Desda's teaching, and that we all have our own guidance, our own inner teacher. That's what this song means to me. I'm inspired and uplifted by other people and observing how they move in their own lives. And most important to me is I trust my own counsel. In addition to the invaluable information and support women are receiving from their doctors, their family and friends, we are here to honor that each woman has her own path to walk, her own wisdom, and her own guidance. From my heart to yours.
I saw a man walking down the road. His feet were touching the ground, and his heart was open like the blue sky. He was walking in both heaven and earth. He was walking in both heaven and earth.
Sister, pray when the days seem long and everything seem wrong. You gotta hold on and really stay strong, cause the pain only lasts through the song. But if you can survive, your soul will live on.
I was drawn to him. I moved him closer, tapped him on the shoulder. I said, brother, can you help me please? Seems I've lost my way. Could I follow in your footsteps? Could you point the way for me? Brother, won't you please? He turned to me. He met my gaze. This is what I heard him say. Sister, pray. Hey, Sister, pray. In the stillness you'll find a light that shines inside of you. It will guide you through. Sister, pray when the morning light kisses your eyes. Sister, pray when the moon caresses the sky. Sister, pray for your brother and your enemy. know me too, Sister Parade. Sister Parade, for the stranger that you meet, passers-by that you see. Sister, scatter your prayers in the street. Sister Parade,
'Cause blessed is the woman who loves and live her life with no one to judge.
Sister Parade,
'Cause in her eyes all she sees is self-worth, look for victory.
Sister Parade,
'Cause a man may lead you astray, but if she prays and she keeps her faith.
Sister Parade,
'Cause even in her heart it is pain, but from the start the love she gained.
Sister, sing your song. Everybody's gonna sing along. Sister, celebrate the people in your life. Be a light in this world, Sister Parade.
Sister pray,
Sister Parade.
sister pray, sister pray, sister pray, sister pray.
All right. I want to give a shout out to the crew. I heard some clapping in there, so I think we did a good take. This song is called Sister Pray, and I met Shaine. I was buying something that day, and Shaine and I were blessed to cross paths. I said to him, I'm a singer, and Shaine said to me, I'm a rapper. And I started thinking that this song could use a rap, and I thought about Shaine right away, and here we are. So I'm really grateful to have you here. Yeah.
We are back with Desda Zuckerman and ready for our interview. Desda Zuckerman is a modern-day visionary, poet, author, shamanic healer, musician. She was a well-known California professional psychic for 17 years until she refocused on healing work in the mid-90s. 1980, excuse me. She also pursued a separate career as a professional singer alongside her husband in the San Francisco Bay Area from the late 1960s until retiring from music in 1998. Born and intuitive with extraordinary clairvoyant abilities, Desda made an in-depth study of the subtle energies that since childhood she has witnessed around all living things. She has spent the better part of her life working to understand and use her gifts. This led to her work in the field of psychic awareness and research to observe and map human spiritual anatomy and to support others in the development of their extrasensory skills. She credits her husband of 37 years, Bob Zuckerman, her daughter Shira, her family and early teachers with the direction her life has taken and the dedication she holds in her heart for healing. More recently, she holds the distinction of being the first person trained and certified by Karen Kingston as a space clearing practitioner to establish a practice in the U.S. She has been profoundly influenced and inspired in her spiritual life journey by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. She is grateful and humbled by the love and trust her many clients have placed in her abilities and dedicates her work to the good of all. Today, Desda is passionate about bringing her message of grounded transformation and one-body conscious wellness to the world. With a loving heart, comprehensive knowledge, and heightened sensitivities honed by years of practice and insight, Desda is leading the cutting edge of a new and expanding field. Her new book, Your Sacred Anatomy, An Owner's Guide to the Human Energy Structure, is her first. This is a monumental piece of work. It's brilliant and detailed, and we are really honored to have you here to share this book with us. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I want to quote from your book. In your introduction, you have a quote that says, "More the same than different." And I'm quoting you, Desda. "In truth, we are already connected through our planet and our shared humanity. We feel each other, we know each other, and are familiar with the idea that we are all one, because it's an idea as old as the human race." So I invite you to speak a little bit about that. That was such a comforting quote.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We are all one being. We're one. We're all together. And there's a way that the sacred anatomy connects us all. So you know about aspen trees, don't you?
No.
How all the root structure of the aspen trees in Colorado are connected. Literally, miles and miles and miles of aspens are essentially one tree. The most ancient apple trees in the Balkans connected with their root structure. So many different plants, different funguses, and all different kinds of animals are connected in this way. Whales talk to each other across vast distances, and they have this deep connection, one to the other. Human beings also have that. And the human energy structure has a way that we tap into sort of a universal resonating chamber where we can talk to each other. You know how when the bombs started to fall in Afghanistan a few years ago, we could all feel that. And we felt the presence of fear and concern and worry and terror. We all can feel that when that happens. When the tsunami happened in Indonesia, we all felt that. So there's a way that we feel throughout the planet when one part of the species is being hurt or destroyed. We all feel that. Well, what we often don't think about in this day and age is the beneficial things too. So we can feel when other parts of our human species are happy too. We can feel great joy when Tiananmen Square burst forth. We all felt that. We could feel the opening. The same thing with the great Arab Spring. We could all feel that. And how did we feel that? We felt that in our feet. We felt that because our feet have these kind of roots that go down into the ground, way down. They're like anchors into the earth. And they anchor into a resonating chamber that all of us are connected into, like a matrix in the earth. So that's something I talk about in my book.
Yes.
Yeah.
My goodness, that's some beautiful visualization, the rootedness from our feet down into the earth and the connection of all things that are going on in the world.
And we can talk to each other. We could pulse each other.
Wow.
And we've done experiments in classes where I've had people stand in different parts of an enormous field, and people would raise a flag when they could feel a pulse. So, because they were so far away. And they could. I mean, it was just incredible.
That's
So
fascinating.
we've done all kinds of interesting experiments. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm not the kind of person who just believes something because it seems like a good idea. I test things out. And so I tested this idea out extensively. It's quite exciting, really.
That is so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
In your book, you refer to Dr. Gail Pierce
Oh.
and the rose red light of love. You quoted Dr. Pierce, "You are here to be of service. There is no earthly teacher for you. You must listen to the inner teacher." Tell us a little bit about Gail Pierce and the rose red light of love.
Well, I met Dr. Gail when I was very, very young. I think I was 25. And I was really struggling with being a visual sensitive, an audio sensitive, and a kinesthetic sensitive. And so I was overwhelmed by all the input all the time, and I was kind of afraid of people in life. And so I went on a healing journey to become not afraid. And part of that led me to Dr. Gale. And Dr. Gale was a chiropractor who was heavily influenced by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and who knew him personally. And he had great respect for her. She was a Tibetan Buddhist. But Gale was in 1974, 75 when I met her. She was in her 70s at that time, I think, in her early 70s or maybe late 60s. And she had been exposed to these things for years. She'd studied Zen Buddhism in Japan with Ogama-sama, and she'd done these amazing things. She was one of the first women that I ever met who was fully embodying a spiritual life. And, you know, they've been around for years. We've been around for years. But as a young woman, I really hadn't met very many. And there was Dr. Gale, this wise woman. And I went to her and basically threw myself on her table and said, you know, what do I do? How can you be my teacher? Can you tell me how to do this stuff that I'm faced with? And I see all these things and I have these feelings and what do I do with it? And she sort of looked at me and she said, there is no earthly teacher for you. You are going to need to go to the inner for your teachers. You will have to go inside. And so that put me on a lifetime path of really deep personal investigation to find out what it was that I actually knew already about what I saw, felt, and heard. So Dr. Gale was the person who inspired me to really look inside and not always be looking outside, so much so that I really kept myself a little bit isolated so that this work that became Your Sacred Anatomy would not actually be reflective of other people's work. I wanted it to be really unique and original, and so I stayed really listening to the inner. This whole work is based on meditation, prayer, visions, deep insights, inspiration, and hundreds and thousands, tens of thousands of hours of time spent doing healings with clients. So Dr. Gale is the one who said, go do it.
Wow, that is so inspiring when you speak about sort of the fear of, you know, having so many sensitivities and feeling so much and what to do with that. And
yeah,
it's a big question.
Like it eat you alive,
Right.
you know. And there are so many people who come to me now who are they're just suffering from being sensitive. Now, I call them hypersensitive, hypervulnerables. You know, the people that walk down the street and get the cold of the guy walking next to them, or just passing them on the street, or who walk into a room where there's been an argument and get a stomach ache. And these people tend to be physically ill a lot until they get a handle on how to be. So a lot of the things that I've done around my own development of skill and skillful living, it is to create techniques. I've done a lot of technique creating. So I've got tons of techniques that I teach people to help them be in the world as a sensitive without getting beat up. And slimed.
Exactly. I'm so interested.
Well,
I'm so
it
interested
happens,
in
right?
those techniques. I wanted to, I read in, speaking of the use of the light, or the rose red light of love, I read in your book that when you're a rock and roller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have a big rock and roll past with your husband, and you had an experience in a biker bar where there was some tension building and you practically applied the light. Can you tell us that story?
I did, and I didn't answer your question about the rose red light.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll talk about that right now.
Okay,
So
perfect.
these roses are the rose red light of love. They're the most beautiful color pink. But the rose red light of love is that color you see at sunset, that brilliant rose red color. That's very vibrant. And we can use that light in life to affect the energetic of what's going on. Now, what I did in the biker bar, first of all, it was a long time ago. It's back in the 70s, and you remember those days maybe. I don't know, you're younger than me, I think, but it was a beautiful time. And one of the things that was great about it was there was a lot of places to play live music.
All right.
And so we had a steady gig in this one bar that had been getting, it had had a history of getting broken up by bikers, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would come in and they'd brawl and they'd break this big window, and the owner was freaked out about it. And so he hired our band because he didn't think they would like us. Because we were kind of a fusion band. And
Okay.
so there we were in this incredibly dark bar in the heat of the disco era. And, I think I was singing some, song from Donna Summers or something.
Awesome.
And in walked what sounded, or in came through the open doors, what sounded like a hurricane or a jet plane landing. And there were 40 or 50 bikes that just rolled up in front of the bar and parked. And these guys got off the bikes, and as they came in, other people left. And they sort of took over the club, energetically as well as physically. The bartender sent the waitress home. She took her tray and walked out the back door. And we just kept playing. So there we were, watching everybody in the club leave and watching this energy come in. And a lot of these guys, God bless them, because many of them had probably had very difficult lives. Their energy was heavy and it was dark. So this darkness came over the bar, which before had been kind of bright. And I thought, well, maybe I can try the white light of cleansing on this. So I visualized this giant orb of white light coming into the room and just cleaning all the energy up, and I saw it just dissipating right down into the earth. So I visualized this for a while. They got very, very calm. Before that had been kind of agitated. Some people had been yelling. They literally had come in with, I don't know, they used to wear chains. These guys used to have, a lot of them used to wear chains around their necks and stuff, and they really looked dangerous.
That's really powerful.
You could see bulges, but the light cooled them down.
Wow.
So it took them down, and they were very, very pleasant and polite, and clapped after every song, clapped during solos.
Oh my goodness, what
and
a
they
transformation.
tipped the bartender and left without scratching
That's
anything.
Really beautiful.
I attributed it to the white light.
Yeah. Good job.
That was good. Yeah.
I know you've done work with women who are dealing with breast cancer in their lives, and we are doing a special tribute to women who are going on a healing journey with breast cancer. And I'm wondering if you can address the kind of work you've done. We only have a few more minutes for this segment, but what people can take away for their healing journey, and perhaps take us through a little exercise, a minute or two for an exercise, healing exercise.
All right. One of the most stressful things that happens to people who experience a cancer diagnosis of any kind is this sense of loss of who they are. There's this sense of my essence has somehow been violated and I've lost myself. So I have an exercise called Returning Presence that's in my book, and I'll lead you through it right now.
Okay, excellent.
So the
Returning
first thing you do
presence.
is you lift your hands above your head and look for, energetically, you feel for a ball of light, kind of orangish, goldish, reddish. And this beautiful ball of light represents your essence. Now, everyone has this, and almost everyone has this essence outside of their physical bodies. And what I've learned is that to become present in the experience of whatever healing journey you're in is the way you get the biggest bang for for the experience. You get the most growth, you get the most experience of healing, and it's the most powerful. So you grab onto that ball and you experience yourself inviting your own essence to come into your physical body. So do that right now. Grab the ball with your hands and feel it. And as you take a deep breath, bring the ball into your head and allow the essence to simply fill your head. Invite your essence to come into your throat and allow the essence to fill your throat. Invite your essence to come into your chest. Allow it to fill your chest. Invite the essence to come into your solar plexus and allow it to fill your solar plexus. Invite your essence to come down into your pelvis and expand into the bowl of the pelvis, plugging right in, down into the coccyx, and say, I am present.
I am present. Thank you, Desda Zuckerman. We have so much more to talk about. I want to ask you about the human energy structure. This is just a phenomenal book and title, and about soul retrieval, about core individualization. So we're going to come back next week and continue our discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Desda. All right. See you next time. Thanks a lot for joining us on Musical Medicine.